Today in history, April 29th.
801 An earthquake in the Central Apennines hits Rome and Spoleto, damaging the Basilica of San Paolo fuori Lamora.
1091 Battle of Lavanium. The Pechenegs are defeated by Byzantine Emperor Alexios I Komnenos.
1386 A Battle of the Vikra River. The Principality of Smolensk is defeated by the Grand Duchy of Lithuania, becomes its vassal.
1429 Joan of Arc arrives to relieve the siege of Orleans.
1483 Gran Canaria, the main island of the Canary Islands, is conquered by the Kingdom of Castile.
1521 Swedish War of Liberation. Swedish troops defeat a Danish force in the Battle of Sturs.
1760 French forces commence the siege of Quebec, which is held by the British.
1770 James Cook arrives in Australia at Botany Bay, which he names.
1781 American Revolutionary War. British and French ships clash in the Battle of Fort Royal off the coast of Martinique. 1826 The Galaxy Centaurus A or NGC 5128 is discovered by James Dunlop.
1861 Maryland in the American Civil War. Maryland's House of Delegates votes not to secede from the Union. 1862 American Civil War. The capture of New Orleans by Union forces under David Farragut.
1864 Theta Chi fraternity is founded at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, the only fraternity to be founded during the American Civil War. 1903 A landslide kills 70 people in Frank, in the District of Alberta, Canada.
1910 The Parliament of the United Kingdom passes the People's Budget, the first budget in British history with the expressed intent of redistributing wealth among the British public.
1911 Tsinghua University, one of mainland China's leading universities, is founded.
1916 World War I. The UK's 6th Indian Division surrenders to Ottoman forces at the Siege of Kut, in one of the largest surrenders of British forces up to that point.
1916 Easter Rising. After 6 days of fighting, Irish rebel leaders surrender to British forces in Dublin, bringing the Easter Rising to an end.
1944 World War II. New Zealand-born SOE agent Nancy Wake, a leading figure in the French resistance and the Gestapo's most wanted person, parachutes back into France to be a liaison between London and the local Marquise group. 1945 World War II. The surrender of Caserta is signed by the commander of German forces in Italy.
1945 World War II. Airdrops of food begin over German-occupied regions of the Netherlands.
1945 World War II. HMS Kudal K-479 is torpedoed by U-86 outside the Kola Inlet, becoming the last Royal Navy ship to be sunk in the European theatre of World War II.
1945 World War II. Adolf Hitler marries his longtime partner Eva Braun in a Berlin bunker and designates Admiral Karl Dönitz as his successor.
1945 Dachau concentration camp is liberated by United States troops. 1945 The Italian commune of Fornovo di Terro is liberated from German forces by Brazilian forces.
1946 The International Military Tribunal for the Far East convenes and indicts former Prime Minister of Japan Hideki Tojo and 28 former Japanese leaders for war crimes.
1951 Tibetan delegates arrive in Beijing and sign a 17-point agreement for Chinese sovereignty and Tibetan autonomy.
1952 Pan Am Flight 202 crashes into the Amazon basin near Carolina, Marano, Brazil, killing 50 people.
1953 The first U.S. experimental 3D television broadcast shows an episode of Space Patrol on Los Angeles, ABC affiliate Kika TV.
1965 Pakistan space.
and Upper Atmosphere Research Commission SUPARCO successfully launches its 7th rocket in its Rebel series.
1967, after refusing induction into the United States Army the previous day, Muhammad Ali is stripped of his boxing title.
1968, the controversial musical Hair, a product of the hippie counterculture and sexual revolution of the 1960s, opens at the Biltmore Theater on Broadway, with some of its songs becoming anthems of the anti-Vietnam War movement.
1970, Vietnam War, United States and South Vietnamese forces invade Cambodia to hunt Viet Cong.
1974, Watergate scandal, United States President Richard Nixon announces the release of edited transcripts of White House tape recordings relating to the scandal.
1975, Vietnam War, Operation Frequent Wine. The U.S. begins to evacuate U.S. citizens from Saigon. Before an expected North Vietnamese takeover, U.S. involvement in the war comes to an end. 1975, Vietnam War, the North Vietnamese Army completes its capture of all parts of South Vietnam held Trang Sa Islands.
1986, a fire at the Central Library of the Los Angeles Public Library damages or destroys 400,000 books and other items.
1986. The United States Navy aircraft carrier USS Enterprise becomes the first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier to transit the Suez Canal, navigating from the Red Sea to the Mediterranean Sea to relieve the USS Coral Sea.
1986 Chernobyl disaster, American and European spy satellites capture the ruins of the No. 4 reactor at the Chernobyl power plant.
1991, the cyclone strikes the Chittagong district of southeastern Bangladesh with winds of around 155 miles per hour to 149 kilometers per hour, killing at least 138,000 people and leaving as many as 10 million homeless.
1991, the 7.0 megawatts Racha earthquake affects Georgia, with a maximum misc intensity of 9 destructive, killing 270 people.
1992 riots in Los Angeles, following the acquittal of police officers charged with excessive force in the beating of Rodney King. Over the next 3 days, 63 people are killed and hundreds of buildings are destroyed.
1997, the Chemical Weapons Convention of 1993 enters into force, outlawing the production, stockpiling, and use of chemical weapons by its signatories.
2004, the final Oldsmobile is built in Lansing, Michigan, ending 107 years of vehicle production.
2011, the wedding of Prince William and Catherine Middleton takes place at Westminster Abbey in London.
2013, a powerful explosion occurs in an office building in Prague, believed to have been caused by natural gas, and injures 43 people.
2013 National Airlines Flight 102, a Boeing 747-400 freighter aircraft, crashes during takeoff from Bagram Airfield in Parwan Province, Afghanistan, killing 7 people.
2015, a baseball game between the Baltimore Orioles and the Chicago White Sox sets the all-time low attendance mark for Major League Baseball. 0 fans were in attendance for the game, as the stadium was officially closed to the public due to the 2015 Baltimore protests. Day of Remembrance for all victims of chemical warfare, United Nations.
International Dance Day UNESCO.
Schwa Day, traditionally the start of the Golden Week holiday period, which is April 29th and May 3rd to 5th, Japan.
Thanks for watching.